Rugby League is back.
Drum roll, please.
You're a true Warriors fan.
I have no recollection of that hot take.
We don't all have to agree.
It's good to be back.
It's just a really boring thing.
Oh, no.
Start winning some games.
I think there'll be a lot of changes to the team.
I've got them making the 8 for mine.
Let's go. Hello, folks, and welcome back to the Advantage Line, TAB's Rugby League betting podcast. My name is Cal Tiley, joined in studio by Paul Mawate. Paul, the NRL season is officially over.
It's always a sad day when that happens.
It's a very sad day.
It means we've got to wait a wee bit. Well, we've got a few months to wait for the start of the next season. But we do have some other rugby league that will be happening in
weeks.
between. Yep, which is good. But I enjoyed the final. It wasn't one of the classic finals, I didn't think, but I did enjoy it. And I actually stayed up the whole way.
We'll get to the final shortly.
Yeah.
We'll welcome in our guests.
You can't believe it.
Other guests. Maybe we get upgraded from guests now to panel co-hosts.
Panelists.
Yeah. He's been here every week.
Guy who's sleeping on the couch and has no intention of leaving. So.
Yes.
Welcome in, Nick Tedeschi.
Yes. He's the Yvonne Sampson of the Advantage Line.
I cannot believe what I've heard. I'm hearing it, for listeners, I'm hearing it 20 minutes late because I was put on delay because Paul can't manage his time. We had a rugby union podcast. And then to say it wasn't one of the classic grand finals is utterly ridiculous. I rated that as the fourth best grand final of my lifetime.
Oh, no.
Since 1988 was probably the one I first remember. And I was just behind 89, 2023 and 2015. I thought it was it may not have had the points, it may not have had the highlight moments, but for quality rugby league, that was better than an Origin. Like that, we'll get on to the game later and the details, but it was fantastic. You're right. It is the saddest day of the year is the Monday after the grand final. I took the young fella down. We watched the final of the Koori knockout, which was fantastic. Saw some greats there. Saw Benny Barber and Joel Thompson. Will Kennedy was playing against Fergie Ferg and Tyron Peach. It was a great game. The WAC got the job done. Local boys are back this next year, but there's been plenty of tears in this house. Some from the young fella and some from me.
More from you, I'm guessing.
Awesome.
And not because rugby league season's finished, but because you got stripped out in the grand final.
No, the grand final was a great result. It was the two early games that were no good. Paul, for followers, Paul Alamotti scoring was an absolute treat. It's quite having the last try.
Well, we're going to start with a betting recap from last week, and then look at our season form and sort of divvy out some awards. But we're going to do that next week. Next week,
yeah.
Why are we doing that next week?
Because we just
want someone's time management, Paul.
Because we want to build the tension, the atmosphere, the anticipation, Teddy.
Maybe we should get Blake and Surly back as well. Maybe not Surly. He hasn't done enough betting, but
no. But we want Blake back so we can go over.
Yeah,
I'm chasing down whatever deficit in the Pacific Championships.
We'll start a new comp for Pacific Championship.
just other rugby league for next month. We've got the Super League Grand Final this week. We've got Samoa touring England. We've got the Pacific Champs. Plenty going on.
Plenty. So we might as well get straight into the grand final review. Have a quick chat. But I just want to start by saying all I could think of watching that game when Liam Martin crossed for the first try. Second try, but crossed for a try. Paul Alamotti crossed for a try. All I could think of was Nick Tedeschi and those thousands of stats he gave off. And I was going down the tick sheet. I was like, no, wrong, correct. That's all I could think of.
That's exactly right. Well, it was talking of stuff that was correct. 2 of the last 5 grand finals I had a hooker score in the first try, and the genius who found that stat and could have got any old price about a hooker score in the first try of this grand final did not take the hooker. So first Harry Grant was first over. So good to be right now. It was it generally held the we'll get on to the Churchill, but it Martin scoring was a great try, but kind of went against the trends. But the Harry Grant one certainly didn't, and Taruva and Alamotti certainly did not. I was very keen on Alamotti. But can we talk Churchill for a second?
Yeah, go for it.
I thought Liam Martin getting the Clive Churchill was like the under sevens giving it to the kid who kicked 6 goals in soccer rather than the kids who passed him the ball. Like it was, he had a very good game. There's absolutely no disputing that Liam Martin had a very good game. But if he had as good a game as Cleary, I'll dead set eat my hat. Like if Cleary hadn't have won 2 of the last 3, I don't think they give it. I think they give it to Cleary. I thought with a bung shoulder where he requires surgery, the leadership he showed in that game by running, directing everything back inside, so they just ran at Harry Grant all day, tied out those big forwards. I've never seen Cleary run that hard, and just showed the patience of a saint to kind of work them into that game, and just never took the foot off the throat. I could not believe. Well, I could not believe it, and we're talking a bit off air. Yo did exactly the same thing. Yeah, probably without the kicking and the direction, just kept running back on the inside. I thought Liam Martin was the beneficiary of that. And no knock on Martin. Martin had a great game, but there's no way he played as well as Cleary. Come on.
Yeah, I can get behind that argument. I can see why they gave it to Martin.
Yeah, totally.
I guess, yeah. It's like going back to your analogy. Like, no one remembers the person who passes the ball. They remember the person who scored the 6 goals.
Well, that's true, but it has gone a bit in the face of previous grand finals where it has been the guys set up all the tries.
Yeah,
but it's just one of those things that was the risk with Cleary going in because he's won 2 of the last 3. Whether they're going to do it again, because probably, I don't know how much the Australian selection panel's changed over that time, but it's generally been, you'd think, the same people. And the way the Dally M goes is that they tend to justify their own selections by giving it to one of their guys. And Martin's obviously one of their guys. He's been in the team for since the last World Cup at least. So, well earned, but Cleary is the best player on the field.
I took extreme offence to Liam Martin's haircut. He needs.
I did too. Actually, I thought it was I can see why. Fashion these days, but they had a bit of the old gollywog about it. It was all over the shop.
I can see why Cam Munster doesn't like him.
Well, you know what? You look at footballers and you go, "That's a character on the field." Like you look at Jerome Lua on the field and you go, "There's a flaw." But you see him off him in the way he carries himself. You go, "He's probably a decent enough fella." I hear Liam Martin talk, and I was thinking Cameron Munster's right.
He's for such a hard man as he is on the field. As soon as he got in front of that microphone, he went full geek mode. He did not look comfortable at all.
When Cameron Munster is the voice of reason, there's something wrong.
Who was your Clive Churchill medalist, Paul?
I agree. I think it should have been Cleary as well. Not only that, he totally outplayed Jerome Hughes, and I thought Jerome Hughes sort of went missing.
He was
for major parts of that game. He thoroughly deserved the Dally M. I got no issues with that, but he just maybe it was the fact that Penrith sort of took the firepower out of that Storm pack, and I think Nelson out was a big loss. I thought it would be a loss. I didn't realise how much of a loss it would be for the Storm, and I think that first of all, that mongrel and that go forward and that aggression, they just missed it in the middle there for quite a bit, and that reflected in Jerome Hughes' play because I think he plays off the back of that really, really well. So
Jerome Hughes was like a New Zealand on Anzac Day when the call for 2 up comes out. Just like any chance we can throw one up, we're completely missing.
Hey.
I think you made a great point about Nelson. Like they tried to replace him with Tui to do that, the hustle and bustle up the middle of on, and they are not the same player. One of the same players. 2 runs in that first session was disgraceful. I don't care how gassed he was. They needed a lot more when their arm wrestled because they never recovered from that first 20 minutes. They just never recovered. Full credit to the Storm. I thought they played wonderfully. under the surface. They were off the back foot all night. And, yeah, Hughes was shut down and probably needed to be better off the back foot. But it wasn't his fault. It was the middle forwards in the first 20 minutes. And Kamika in particular, I thought was very poor.
Yeah, just going back to the start, if you didn't watch the game and you've come to us to hear the recap, Storm won. The Panthers won 14-6. Harry Grant scored the first try. Taruva scored the second try on the back of a very well worked trick play or variation of a standard play.
Nice, yep.
We'll get into that shortly. Liam Martin scored, and then Alamote scored in the 60th minute to seal it. But as you say, Teddy, the Kamika was a liability in that first. For someone who was supposed to be replacing Solomona and bring impact, he offered absolutely nothing. He was completely gassed after 15 minutes, and he got pulled off. I don't recall seeing him come back on.
He didn't come back on.
No.
He didn't come back on. So.
And that says more about, like, that's a disgrace at that level.
Oh, totally. I thought, obviously, it's a concern for the Storm full stop. They wanted and bought Stefano to Kamano for next year. So they're obviously concerned about that up front. They're playing a guy like Josh King, and Josh King did nothing wrong. Josh King worked his guts off, but Josh King is not bending a line. Josh King is not concerning defences. I was surprised, and I'm maybe the biggest Craig Bellamy fan in the world, how poor the bench use was. I thought saving Lazarus Vaiapu till like 20 minutes to go, when he is the other impact forward off the bench.
And he only got 10 minutes too.
You got 8 minutes, yeah.
There you go.
If you're taking Tui off, you need to kind of get him on early. And playing Tyron Wishart so long in the middle. Now, Wishart's a great player and obviously extraordinarily versatile. When you're lacking size and you're lacking the ability to kind of bend the line, he's not your answer. Yeah, he needs to be coming in when things are going well and you can kind of get off the front foot. So, again, like Josh King, worked his guts off, did nothing wrong. This is not even a minute criticism of Tyron Wishart. But maybe the bench makeup wasn't right. Because Christian Welsh, the other big bopper on the bench, he got 15 minutes as well. Like, there's not a lot of minutes when you're playing Kamika 18, Welsh 15, Vaiapu 8. There's a lot of middle minutes you're throwing on Josh King and Trent Liero, who are not big bodies.
Yeah, I think Paulie was probably forced into that after that first 20 minutes to bring Wishart on and play so much time. He's sort of looking for fitness over size, because
I think he was sort of looking for more defense as opposed to more go for it. He was trying to hold on, as opposed to, I'm going to throw the dice here and I'm going to put Lazarus in there and just see how well he can go.
Yeah.
It would have been a big ask for the young fella to get in there, but these are the sorts of situations where these sorts of things can happen. And he just didn't get that opportunity. So it was a strange bench rotation from Bellamy.
it was a strange game. Like you said, Teddy, like the Storm played their asses off and they played very well.
Yep.
And to only lose 14-6 is, I think it speaks huge volumes of the Storm. Any other team in the comp would have lost 40-6.
100%, and they would have absolutely gone to war in that last 20 minutes.
Yep.
When the fatigue really, I thought I'd struggle to find a better performance from a losing team in a grand final. Like it was, full credit to the Storm, but Penrith, and like we are, no genius at it. Peak Ivan Cleary coaching, but just the tactics in that game, just to tire out, to nullify. To hit the Storm's weakness, which was their middles, but then to use that to nullify their stars was just outstanding. I've never seen Isaac Tungo run more in balls in my life. Every time the ball would go out to him, like you wouldn't have known Brian Toll was off because the ball wasn't going to him anyway. Which was the tactic.
I was shocked when I heard that Toll ran for 200 meters. I was like, I haven't even seen him.
I thought so. Well, obviously, there's plenty of markets around for most meters and stuff like that. And Brian Tyler's got $4 to beat Dylan Edwards with a couple of others, and 50 minutes in, Brian Tyler's 60, 70 metres seemed home. And then if you're on him, I did consider that bet, but didn't take it. I feel for those who did, because that was one tough beat. Talking of Edwards, I again thought Edwards was only solid. Probably maybe struggled a bit over the back end of the year.
Yeah, I guess it's because of just the game plan that Cleary went in with, where all the focus was on turning the ball back inside, just hitting those Storm middles, and using every single player outside of Edwards and the two wingers, to be fair, to come back in, and just that was it. This is the middle. We're going to attack it for the entire 80 minutes. We're going to tire them out, and that means we're going to take their sort of firepower away, which means that their stars won't be able to shine. It was a great game plan, and it was executed very, very well. So
I've never seen a team execute a game plan as well as the Panthers, even Storm at their peak. It is just to the 80th minute they were doing it. It wasn't like, well, this game's over now, we can get a bit leery. Just kept punching it through.
Yep.
I think I saw something from Vossi. The best team from the season didn't win, but the best team on the night absolutely did.
Yep, definitely, because it was for Penrith, it was probably their worst season of the last 5 in the regular season. They looked more vulnerable than anything else. But I was on Penrith because they just know how to handle big occasions. And there's so much to be said for that. Craig Bellamy gets a lot of points and deserves it. He's now lost more grand finals than he's won. That's a fair. I'm not going to say knock on him, but there's a bit there.
He's been in a lot of grand finals though.
Been a lot of, and that's incredible. If I was picking a coach tonight, if there was an all-time draft league and I had first pick coaches, players, I'd take Craig Bellamy. He's the 100% the guy I'm picking. But it was. They looked vulnerable, but not on the night. And particularly, I think I said this maybe even in the previous show, Luai leaving would be a huge motivator for the Panthers. They're not a team that gets bitter about people leaving if they do it the right way. And then when Fisher Harris starts leaving, there's that motivation. Now, what they're going to have to do next year, will they have young players coming through? Yes. Will they be good enough? Remains to be seen. But will there be that motivation to get to 5? So, other than the normal motivation of winning premierships and stuff like that, but Penrith can find it, and it really is amazing, because Cleary wasn't anywhere near 100%.
Yeah. Two things we talked about, perfect executions. I want to talk about that Alamotti, the Taruva try, but then after that, I want to go to the Storm and want you guys to tell me who your player of the match from the Storm was. But the Alamotti try, I saw. Sean Johnson's is on a new podcast, and he's been breaking down different plays each week. And for the last couple of weeks, he's broken. Oh, am I back?
I can hear.
Left.
Okay. The last couple of weeks, he's been breaking down the Penrith play, specifically that play they ran for the try, and sort of when Cleary gets the ball, you've got 4 or 5 guys out the back, all options, short man, first man, out the back, whatever it is, and. He was saying the Storm would have been studying this day in, day out. They know exactly what's coming. And he's paused the video right on, when Cleary's about to pass it. He said, look, everyone in the Storm is in perfect position for how the players normally run.
Yep.
Hitting the lead man or the outside man. And then to see Alamotti get it and just throw an absolute variable in the mix, and then suck in the defenders. Taruva scores in the try. It's very cool to watch. And then to see the Penrith social media team post a video of them doing that at training and executing it as well. I love that stuff. It's very cool to see.
It's rugby league gone off and labelled a brute and barge sport. But that was art. That really wasn't. That's kind of reminiscent of a lot of that's how the NFL works. It's not running 10 completely separate plays. It's running 10 variations of one play. So you've got to look, and then you're not sure what to do with it. Like that play last week, Alamotti scored 2 tries.
Yeah.
He hit that short ball and ran straight through the line. And I'm sure Melbourne thought they're probably not going to do exactly the same thing. They're going to have a variation, at the back. And they were ready for that slide, but they were not ready for that turn. And just that little subtlety was brilliant. And underrated in that try was just Taruva's finish as well. Like, there's not that much to it, but he took the right angle. He was in the right spot, and he got low.
Yeah.
And I just got that. And like, you see so many wingers just not do that. It just frustrates the hell out of you. It's like, why are you upright right now? You need to be halfway to the ground, 5 meters out. And getting ready to launch. So great finish. But Paul Alamotti, outstanding grand final. Played for Canterbury 12 months ago, so that's worked out well. But was always going to thrive. I think in the end we'll call it a good swap because the Dogs are improved significantly with Crichton and Alamotti's thriving in the Penrith system. But he had a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful game. Paul Alamotti set up that try, scored that try, took some magnificent bombs, absolutely annihilated. I think the Pap at one stage, Henry McIntyre goal, just like launched himself like a Scud missile, destroyed him. So great game from Paul Alamotti.
And gave someone a massive spray too, didn't he?
Did he? I must have missed that.
I think it was him. I know Jack Howarth got sprayed by... Is it Liam Martin?
Liam Martin sprayed him. Well, Jack Howarth probably deserved to get sprayed. I know you got another question first, but we need to come back to that. Jack Howarth.
Let's stay there. He had a tough game. He had a very tough game. His defensive reads were poor. At that early era, it's completely rattled him. Like in a game with so few errors, like there really weren't that many errors, particularly early on. Melbourne could have gained the ascendancy there. They had the ball. They were on the attack. That poor read on Cleary to Martin on the switch was just that was amateur hour. He's a young kid, he's full of talent. He'll get better, but that was poor. And then that try, /no try. I'm not a defender of the bunker, but the bunker was right on this one. And anyone who thinks it was a try, needs to get the tinfoil hats out.
Whoa!
You think it was a try?
No, I'm just amazed that Teddy's back the bunker. I've never heard that before.
Well, I've never heard so much rot about people claiming it was a try and a conspiracy, and particularly from Victorians, they're just like, oh, the NRL doesn't want the Storm to win. It's like, give it a rest.
I thought watching it live, I thought it was a try.
Same. 100% I did. 100%. But following the process, you couldn't have won a try. There was no clear evidence. And also, then there was pretty clear evidence that it wasn't a try at the NRL come out. So.
I've seen an angle that it looked pretty clear that it was on the grass.
No, it was his hand underneath it. Because when the NRL put out the HD version or whatever it is, it was pretty clear the ball wasn't down. And like the mechanics of it didn't really allow it. Like he had the ball in his hand. I'm pretty sure it was his arm that was underneath.
Get low, son. Get low.
Get low.
But
and also, like he did well to get there, but he was kind of in the wrong position for that knock back as well. Like, why are you standing 4 or 5 meters back on that? Like, that's one you need to be like right next to him and just be like, there, put it down.
Yeah.
Like if he was in the right position there, he could have scored that almost untouched without even diving. Just up.
Yeah. Paul, your best on ground for the Storm. I think there's only 4 to choose from personally.
I'm going to go with Harry Grant. He scored their only try. He made almost 60 tackles. We didn't see his usual zip out of dummy half, but that's just because I think of the defense that he had to make. He was only one of 2 Storm forwards to play the whole 80. But yeah, it was difficult, but I think Harry Grant for mine.
Teddy?
I don't think it was difficult at all. I think it was clearly Harry Grant. For mine, I thought he had one of the great games from a losing player. He would not have got 20 seconds to breathe in that game. He was involved in every play in attack and most plays in defence. They were targeting him, so they were running that way. So he was clearly the best for mine. Kind of moving beyond that, I thought great games from Munster, who I really think has lost a step at the moment, but doesn't stop him trying. I thought he's had plenty. I thought Coates did really well considering the tactics of the Panthers was let the tall wingers catch it.
Oh,
There we go.
gee. Oh,
And I thought Ali Qatar played well and got to a lot of work without really threatening, without getting a lot of opportunity.
Yeah, I completely agree with what you've just said there, Teddy. They were the 4 players for me. I thought I was disappointed. Like, Munster was trying so hard at the end there. Him and Harry Grant seemed like the only 2 blokes that could still breathe near the end. And there was a couple of runs. Munster was kind of darting across, looking for someone to cut under, and there was just no one there. He said to turn and go on south. Like that's alarming, I guess, but shows just how gassed the whole team was.
It's been done on the forwards as well, I guess. Like they're putting me a fair team on the cop in the storm either. Like Bellamy works them into the ground, so a bit more mental there. I think you've got to just try to be in a position. You've got to find yourself. It goes back to Tui Kameka, I guess, at the start. Everybody did player ratings on the Ned's website this week, and he got a game low 2 along with Howell. So I might have been generous on Kameka. They probably deserved a 0.
Munster ran for 180 metres himself, which is...
Yeah, I had Munster most metres of all halves. Thought I'd be a moral if Munster got 180 metres. I couldn't count it quick enough. But
when was the last time a half ran for 200 metres without a 100-metre breakaway?
Yeah, like you see Dylan Browns and that do it a bit. Like those running. I don't recall a genuine playmaking halfback running.
No.
Like you see it from Munster a bit, but like you don't see it from Cleary.
It's unreal. Xavier, I thought Xavier Coates on attack. He was absolutely their best getting out of trouble. He seemed to break tackles or half break tackles every hit up, and then Ali Qatar on both sides of the ball. He was devastating in attack. Just didn't get enough ball.
Yep.
But then saved those 2 tries, knocking the ball out of, I can't remember whose hands they were, but they were huge plays.
Yeah. It was great. I thought the other area where they struggled was the 3-quarter line. Like we talked about coaching, it was great. I thought Will Warbrick was poor. That defensive read, I know, kind of probably occurred inside of him, but he didn't need to rush up as fast as he did, I don't think, when on the Taruva try. Harold talked about Nick Mean, missed 8 tackles. Well, that's a lot of missed tackles. Like, the ball wasn't out of him that much. Yeah. So he really struggled, I think, to contain Alamotti.
Yep. All right. Anything else anyone wants to say on the grand final? Otherwise, we'll move on and play a little game.
I thought the game was frustratingly reffed in terms of.
Here we go.
Well, maybe not so much in and of itself, but in the context of the last few weeks. Like 2 weeks ago, he just completely puts the whistle away. And then last week, he goes blowing penalties. Now he's found some kind of middle. And it's like, can we just referee the game? Referee what's in front of us? Like, there weren't any hugely outstanding errors. And I also thought someone worthy of a mention, who I thought played great, Scott Sorensen, back from injury.
Oh, yeah. Huge.
I thought he was just a beast. Just an absolute beast. So we haven't talked about Scott Sorensen. My last note to talk about is Mitch Kenny the luckiest human on the face of the earth? Mitch Kenny, don't get me wrong, he tries his hardest, does nothing wrong, but he will be the least talented player to win 3 or 4 premierships on the trot in the history of the sport. Dead set, like he is. I don't. When you've got a salary cap, you can't have stars everywhere. But he may end up winning more premierships than any other hooker in history.
I tell you what, of that team, he's probably one of the a handful of 2 or 3 that I wouldn't say that to his face though. He seems like a scary MF.
2 or 3, I wouldn't say to any of the 34. and Ashley Klein will be touch and go.
However, Tom Eisenhuth, look out.
I'll say I'll fight Tom Eisenhuth, I'll just race him. Are we going to talk about other grand finals on the day? Or are we going to save that for later on?
I'll hand up. I missed the women's grand final. I watched the one previous.
So you watched the 2 ones with men in it.
I did, and that sounds look. I had it all lined up. I was ready to watch it, and then it was just me and my youngest daughter at home, and she came into the room.
I would have thought this would have been a great learning opportunity.
Bingo.
Look, there's just some stuff we had to put a little movie on and have some popcorn, and I had to play dad for a little while. Okay.
That woman's one.
You and I played dad in a very different way.
I walked away to make a toasty because the Roosters were just all over. The Sharks could not catch a high ball. They could not catch a high ball to save.
That Kathy Staples game reminded me of that Manu Vadavai game against Parramatta. And he dropped 8 or 9
parallels.
Don't bring Manu into this. Don't do that.
They were, well, let's hope it's a better future for Cassie. They were putting up huge bombs, and then they were putting up not huge bombs. They were putting up just kicks, and she was dropping them a lot. It was 24-0, but they missed 3 goals.
Correct. Yeah.
I will tell you what, though.
I walked away. I came back, and we had a game on.
It was a great effort from Tiana Penatani to lift them back into the game. She's an absolutely outstanding leader. But a couple of notes from that game. How Olivia Koenig didn't win the Karen Murphy medal. Scored 2 tries, was clearly the best on the field. But then
How did she not get selected?
got left out of the Australian team, and seeing as the Australian selectors choose the winner, it was quickly became apparent that Olivia Koenig's not the favourite of the coach, and so that was fairly disgraceful. Ziggy, the referee, who had one of the all-time, I would give that performance in the grand final a 0 out of 10. I think maybe 7 to 8 challenges were successful. This is just from an objective point of view, like missing completely obvious stuff, like pointing in the wrong direction or awful game. Then went to when he's given the medal, went to kiss on the cheek the young girl giving the award, and probably the most awkward moment in presentation history. So that won't long be forgotten. But probably most relevant for this podcast, those on the minus 8.5. Consider that one of the greatest beats of all time. Like, seriously, they led 24-0. They should have been up 30-0. And then even at the end, they were getting close and just letting on a try. It was a tough watch for minus punters, of which I was one.
Of which, yes, exactly.
Just quick important question from me. What was in the toasty?
Oh, ham, cheese, tomato.
Standard, straight.
Classic, but boring. Where's salami in there?
What's your go? Salami.
Yeah, salami, cheese, and onion.
Okay. What about a little bit of creamed corn and onion? Try it. Creamed corn, onion, bacon.
Oh, you've lost him.
Try it. And cheese.
I'm gone. Cream corn is foul.
Cream corn is underrated.
I'm going to believe it's correctly rated as something that everyone walks by in the supermarket.
No, not in my household.
I want to ask Teddy, do you have one of those sandwich presses, or do you have one of those Jaffle?
Well, tough story. This will bring a tear to the eye. When my wife and I moved in together a long time ago, she had one of those toasty makers, and I had a Jaffle maker. And needless to say, we've got 2 of these things. Which one has to go? And I did not win that battle. So Varley Jaffle maker, because the Jaffle maker was way better. Those crispy edges. Whoa.
Yeah, exactly. It's the edges.
Is that the one that
sort of encloses
it?
Sort of,
puts it in the triangle. Yeah, kind of puffs it up. Yeah. So I have a sandwich maker, but I wish I had a Jaffle maker. I'm guessing you're the Jaffle maker, Paul.
Well, yeah, for Kiwis, Jaffle makers are just old toast.
Yeah, old
toasty pie makers. Sort of makers. Yeah.
Oh, what?
We didn't call them Jaffles over here. No.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
What did you call them?
They were just like
toasted sandwich maker.
Yeah,
just an old one.
Just an old one. Yeah. And now
Yeah, I mean, we didn't call them jaffles at the time. When I grew up, they were just that's what a toasty was.
yeah.
So yeah, these days, modern world.
Anyway, go and try cream corn toasty with cheese. Honestly,
there is absolutely zero chance I will ever be trying cream corn toasty.
You sound like my daughters. I don't like that. You haven't even tried it.
I get exactly the same lesson from my wife. Just like, the boys will eat this. Blow it. Well, I'm picky. I got bored up in the area of jaffles.
All right, let's get back to grand finals. I reckon they have toasties after the grand final celebration. We're going to play a little game, blind ranking. I've got 5 grand finals here in the last decade.
Teddy's just knocked off a few, didn't he? Oh, not from the last decade, no.
You guys have to rank these. You've got 5 spots. You don't know which one's coming next.
I think I know what's coming next.
Well, I don't think you do. So the first one, 2015 grand final.
1.
Teddy, putting that at 1?
Yep.
Funnily enough, I watched this with a couple of former employees down at the Cambridge.
Names?
No. Carry on.
Okay.
Give me the
2.
2.
That was the Jonathan Thurston one?
It was.
Yep.
Fun story about that. I told the Guardian, who I write for, that I was going to the game and would do a thing. And so I went to the Erskineville Hotel and had first beers about 2 o'clock that day. Was up on the seat singing the Cold Chisel an hour before the game, and somehow written it on my computer about 15 schooners deep. Brisbane Broncos have won the grand final, blah, blah, blah. And they scored that try at the end. I got people spilling beer over as I'm trying to rewrite the first 8 paragraphs. Submit.
Nice.
Weren't there a few posts and things out that went out? Broncos have won sort of thing. Just
Yes. Oh. And the Guardian almost had the same story on full time.
Second one, 2023.
Oh, that was a stinker. 5. That was the Eels one, yeah? Oh, no, that was last year. Last year. Yeah. Oh, two. Sorry.
1.
Oops, not 13. Next one, 2024.
3.
2016. Storm Sharks.
Oh, the stinker. 5.
2019 is your both in your 4th
4.
spot.
4.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the Joey Leilua.
Stitch up.
And also, was it a 7 tackle set or something in that match?
There was a charge down and it hit the trainer. The Raiders.
That's right. That's exactly right.
The Raiders could have scored a try and they got 6. Was it Roosters got 6 again?
Roosters got scrum fed.
That's right. Yeah.
So they went from it was disgraceful.
All right. So basically, that game didn't really go how I thought it would, but.
Probably don't lead with the best grand finals.
Well, I was trying to throw you off. I was trying to, what else was coming, but.
Well, when you said last decade, it's like, okay, so there's only 10 to choose from.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going with the good ones first.
I'll take some learnings out of this.
Yeah.
We'll
so it's in Nisbo.
Bigger and better.
Lessons.
Lessons.
On my dying day, I'll remember Nisbo. And I'll forget most things in my life, and it'll come into my head, learnings and lessons with Nisbo. I don't know why. It's stuck with me forever. The great man.
Speaking of lessons, Teddy, let's give Paul a lesson in how to do the NRL grid.
I've done it. I've done the wrong one.
So you haven't done it.
Well, I've done it.
So you haven't done it. You've got to do it live.
So, no, I'm not going to. I'm going to give you my points for the one that I did.
That's not the game, though.
That's the one I've done. There's something wrong with my computer. I thought it was Tuesday.
You missed the Warriors one too. You better get going.
I know. I saw it and I went, oh, gee, I wish that was Tuesday's one. And I went back a day.
Unbelievable. Actually, extremely believable.
So I've done Mondays. So we'll see how I go against you two.
I reckon we still might win.
Yeah, I think you will.
Okay. If you're going to play, pause the pod, go play the grid for Tuesday, 8th of October.
and also Monday, the 7th of October.
Shut up. Across the top, played 2010, played between 2010 and 2019, played for the Tigers and scored 15 plus tries in a season. Down the left, played for the Wars, played for 4 plus clubs, and played for the Bulldogs. Teddy, your top line, please.
Warriors 2010 to 19, Wizard, Glenn Fisiahi, 0.11. The fish.
Wow.
The fish.
Warrior, Tiger, an old favourite of mine, Michael Crockett, Wizard, 0.64. And 15 plus tries in the season were Dean and Kemp, 4.20.
I am on the back foot early.
Oh, you can't win. I don't think. I did very, very well on this.
I've gone brain, Dean and Kemp.
Brains won't be enough.
I know. So anyway, okay. 2010, 2019 Warrior, Mason Leno, brain 0.22.
Stiff.
Tiger Warrior, Tui Lolo here, brain 2.42. And Dean and Kemp 4.20.
Playing next weekend, Tui Lola here. Picked in the Tongan squad.
Wow, I thought he'd retired.
Right, across the top, scored 15 or more tries in a season. James Maloney, teammate, played in 2005. And down the side, played for the Storm, scored 500 or more points in the career, and played for the Panthers. Right, top line, Israel Folau, 3.01. Ryan Hoffman, 5.95. Henry Perenara, brain, 0.61.
I don't know what world pulls into that.
Teddy, what's your second row?
2010 to 2009, played for 4 plus clubs. Glenn Hall, 0.72. Tiger, 4 plus clubs for Amory Brown, 1.27. And scored 15 tries in a season. Played for 4 plus clubs. Ben Walker, Wizard, 2.15.
I am gone. Todd Lowry, 0.76. Benji Marshall, 7.35. Josh Morris, 13.02.
Manu Vatuve, 1.92. Sean Johnson, 7.49. Kurt Gidley, 2.79. I've put a few WARs in here for a grid that doesn't have a WARs section. Right, back to you, Teddy.
2010 to 2019, Bulldogs, Brad Abbey, 0.08. Wizard. Tigers, Bulldogs, Brent Naden, 2.48. And 15 plus tries in the season, Bulldogs, Wizard, Curtis Rona, 1.35.
Oh, wow. A rugby union player.
6 Wizards. Is he?
Is he?
Is that where he went?
You know he is.
He just died to me.
Wow. Teddy's changing his tune. He's changing his tune.
Yeah, he never would have done that a few weeks ago.
Wow, wait.
No.
The Bulldogs haven't had many 15 plus try scorers in the season.
Played 2010, 2019 Dogs. Controversial one. Ryan Tandy, 0.12.
Whoa.
Brain.
Like it a lot. Wasn't that controversial if you're on, but
Tiger Dog, Matt Utai, 3.92. 15 plus tries, Dog. Nigel Vangana, 4.34.
Reece Wester, 4.04. Dallin Watani Zalesniak, 3.35. Paul Fatuera, 1.52.
Thanks, Paul.
Right.
Teddy, what's your score?
13.
Holy moly.
My Josh Morris alone. More than that.
It was an all-time grid for me yesterday. I got very, very lucky with the Bulldogs in there.
Wow. I was 36.4, but I'll take that for second.
Oh, 30.7. You're beauty.
He comes Ben Johnson at the 88 Olympics.
But where were you on the overall leaderboard when you did it, Teddy?
6.
Wow. Wow.
I made a mess of one of them too. I made a mess of the Brent Naden one. I think I could have done better with Brent Naden.
Yeah.
What was that? Played for both the
Dogs and Tigers.
Dogs and Tigers.
I just couldn't go that far back in my brain and think who would play for the Tigers. And I'm sure Terry Lamb took a couple over in 2000.
It's good stuff. Good stuff. All right, before we wrap this up, quickly touch on the international teams that have been named over the last few days. Any surprises that jump out, Teddy, particularly, I guess, the Australian team for you?
Yeah, Olivia Koenig not making it was disgraceful. But into the Kangaroos rather than Jillaroos seems to, I'll get from that look. I was stunned that James Tedesco was left out. This is clearly a generational change that the selectors have come up with. They've left out, and to be honest, I was surprised. Danny Cherry-Evans was left out as well. He was probably touted to be. Well, he said he wasn't retiring from footy just yet because he was hopeful of playing in this Pacific National with Nathan Cleary, obviously out. So bit of a surprise. Hard to go past in terms of like bolsters on the team. Hard to get past Lindsay Smith being picked. I don't think Lindsay Smith's mum thought he was a chance of playing for the Australian team, but I was a little surprised at that. I was surprised Ben Hunt got picked as well.
I was just going to
say, this fascination with Ben Hunt is absolutely ridiculous. Like, there's a lot of players who can play that utility role. Like Tom Dean could easily play that utility role. But, play him hard, can come on a hook, all that stuff. So, surprised that. Very happy to see Hammer in the team. Happy to see Birdo in the team as a Dogs fan.
Guaranteed.
And very, very happy to see Mitch Barnett in the team, which I know will ring well for you at home. And was particularly fond of how he responded to Charles Nicholas text.
So was I. That's great.
That's brilliant.
As an Australian who lived in New Zealand for a number of years, I fully respect Mitch Barnett for putting his Australian nationality first and foremost.
If you haven't heard, Charles Nicholas texted Mitch Barnett and said, "Congrats on making the team, bro." And he came back and said, "I'm not your bro." That's outstanding. I'm going to go hazard a guess to say it's probably the first time there's two Lindsays in a team.
Who's the other Lindsay? Oh, Lindsay Collins. I used to make that joke. There was once a time about 2009, 2010 where there were two Ivans coaching in the NRL. I thought, what is the chance 1/8 of all coaching jobs go to Ivans? But then one went on and won 4 premierships. So.
The other one that in recent years, two Brads playing in there. Like Brad's not a really common name. Brad Parker and Brad. Who's the one that played for the Titans?
Takarangi.
Oh,
Takarangi.
No, it wasn't him. Maybe. Oh.
Either way, a fun story. My brother who just had a kid is just named had a little boy a week ago named him Bradley.
There you go.
So there's going to be at least one more going around for the next little bit.
Have you seen the Kiwis team, Teddy?
I have.
Any surprises there?
Well, I've got no idea who you come with Phoenix Crossland's in the team. Good luck with that. That's insane. That's absolutely insane.
what's insane? What did he say?
Phoenix Crossland.
Oh, right, yeah.
You've got. I would love. I certainly hope it goes this way. I would love to see Cal McKinney at fullback. Stay at fullback. I think he's a great selection. And you've got a very good 3/4 line. Hopefully, we don't see any of Pete Hiku, but other than that, you've got a good 3/4 line. Jerome Hughes is there. I imagine Cody will play in the halves with him.
Yeah, that was the first thought. Yeah.
Unless they're going to go with like Chance or Osaka or something like that, would be a bit offbeat.
Or Peter Hiku.
He has played 5 out for New Zealand in the past.
He has. Yeah.
But love the pack. Other than hooker, which is like a glaring like, surely you play Trent Tuialo ahead of Phoenix Crossland or maybe even Aaron Clark. But Tapane up front with who are you going to start him with? There's
Fisher Harris.
And then Fisher Harris, of course, yeah. Then Sorensen, Papali'i, Niokore. Some combination of that in the back row. Like Leo Thompson like that's a very intimidating pack. So that'll be where that game kind of go. Interesting. This is Stacey's first game in charge. I don't think he. Well, Maguire coached him at the end of the season, didn't he?
Oh yeah, no, he must have. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Stacey's the coach, yeah.
He is.
Yep.
Yes.
Thought I might have got that wrong. Looking at the looks on your faces, like, what's this guy talking about? So yeah, solid team. I think question mark over 5'8", question mark over hooker. Play the Warrior. Hope he throws the dice a bit, Stacey, and kind of would even be happy to see Casey McLean get a run as well. Like, I think I'd rather see him take some risks than just kind of going down the tired Peter Hicker path, you know.
Mm-hmm. The list of players unavailable. Like, there was chat a few weeks ago about SJ potentially being involved if Jerome Hughes went down or there was some trouble within the halves, to have someone come in who knows.
Get him in there. Play 5'8".
Exactly. That, like, surely that was a conversation.
He said no. Well, isn't it the Achilles or the?
You've got a lifetime to fix that up, SJ.
Yeah.
Also, just on SJ, I haven't listened to his podcast. His work on Fox Sports over here has been top notch, and there is a lot of talk that getting him over here to be a permanent member of the Fox panel. He's great, very good voice, face for television, but just insightful and clearly done his work. And that's just something when you're used to Steve Roach and Brad Astor on there, that there is a lot of generalities and not real research, nuanced stuff. So great to have him.
He's very big on calling it from the player's point of view and being true to the players. And he said in his first stint, go on Fox a couple of weeks back, that Brandy said something that I think it was the Cowboys, like, the Cowboys are so unfit, blah blah blah. And SJ said he was sitting there like, I don't really agree with this bloke, but how do I say this without, he's one of the greats. Like, I don't want to step on anyone's toes. And he's like, oh, I don't necessarily agree with that.
Yeah, well, it was good because like most of those new ones, they just go and agree.
Yeah,
doesn't matter if they to a man or a woman, they just go and agree. So kudos to him. Good bottle.
What about the Tongan team?
Love the Tongan team. Absolutely love the Tongan team. Think this team can beat Australia first up.
Yeah.
Don't know if they will. Not declaring or not even calling a bet. But I will 100% be backing this team to beat New Zealand. Even though I'm pretty impressed with what New Zealand have got. You run through their team there. They've got options. I think they'll play, well, either Yongi Hopewadi or Tolu Cole at fullback. Probably one of those on a wing. Daniel Tupou and Katoa on a wing. Maybe it'll be Tui Kola in the centres with Paul Alamoti. Halves are a concern.
Yeah, that's the big thing, the halves.
The Katoa and Lolo here, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Katoa and Lolo here. So Katoa's obviously had a pretty good season. Did get dropped. Lolo here, Carl thought was retired, so that's a concern. But the pack, Fanua Blake starting at prop with maybe Tomalolo or Kafusi, one of those. Kalamatangi at lock, Ola Kawatu and Finafuiaki in the back row. Like, Paseka's there. Tupanua's there. Oh, sorry. Eli Katoa's there as well. Eli Katoa will definitely be anyone. Eli Katoa and Ola Kawatu in the back row and Kalamatangi at lock. Like, that is a bloody good side.
Mm.
Yeah, you only get Sylvia Havili. Probably should be starting at hooker. It'll either be him or Sonny Luke. But Havili offers that leg speed off the bench and that as well. Like, that's a really good team on obviously I'm Australian and you're cheering Australia. In rugby league, seeing the emergence of Tonga and Samoa has absolutely changed the international game for mine. I'll be cheering them the entire way. I think they picked a good-looking side here.
Just quickly, Savila Havili. Like, is there a more kind of just low-key player that's been around for a long time?
forever.
Have a guess. Do you know when he started?
2010?
No, not that long. 2014. But he's played 150 NRL games, most of which would be off the bench.
Who do you play for? Canberra and South, is that it?
Started off the Warriors.
Warriors.
10 games for the Dragons, 80 at the Raiders.
And then the Bunnies.
Now he's at the Bunnies. Played 46 for the Bunnies.
He's going for a full club, man. We'll remember that for the next sprint.
Played 15 games for Tonga. And
Bet you can't remember a single highlight of his career. I certainly don't.
No.
Built like a bar fridge too.
Yes.
Is he their hooker?
He will be, surely.
He will be?
He'll play significant minutes. So they might go with Sony Luke, but that's a risk. I would think.
Yeah,
I would think he would be.
Little light in the halves, and just about the sort of balance they get in that hooker role. But outside of that, boy, oh boy, that is a nasty team.
The other pertinent question is we've got the one in the Pacific Cup, we've got a Pacific Bowl on, and a man with Cook Islands roots. Haven't named their team yet, Paul. Any names we should be looking out for in the cookies who have connections in the NRL?
I think they haven't named it yet because they haven't found enough players to put in the squad.
maybe it's not too late for you to make it.
I've missed a couple of calls from a number I don't know, so possibly, Teddy.
Someone wanted to use the studio telling you to hurry up.
Oh, gee, here we go.
Tell you what, one team I'm interested in seeing when it comes out is the Samoan team.
Yeah.
They will be very strong as well.
It's outstanding. I'm so pleased. I got told it a few years ago. This touring England for 3 games. I think it's great for the development, bringing a lot of cash to them. But it's a great incentive for those players to be able to go away for 3 weeks, bond, build up internal culture. I know that leading into the last ball or prior to the last World Cup, culture had always been a massive issue with Samoa in terms of players not wanting to be there, playing up and all that stuff, and generally resulted in some underachievement. Obviously, made the finals last time. Things have kind of been well in order there. So you just like to see that continue because it's great to see a team other than New Zealand, England, or Australia thriving.
Can you remember who the first big name player was? Was it a Jason Taumalolo or was it?
Yep. It was Taumalolo.
It was his first one, and then it sort of that created that sort of.
It was him and someone else. They went across.
Who? Both from the Kiwis. They were
both from the Kiwis.
Both Kiwis. And then, Tonga.
And then Andrew Fafita went across from Australia.
That's right.
There. Yeah. That's
he was the first one to go. I don't want to wear the green and gold. I want to go play for my island.
I'm pretty sure RTS has declared himself for Samoa this year as well.
Has he?
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's absolutely fantastic. So,
especially, I like that. Like a guy at the sort of, not the back end of his career, but he's on the downhill towards retirement now. Like he's done the Kiwi stuff.
Yeah.
Take your skills and help.
I think it's wonderful. I think it's pretty unique to the league. I know the league kind of representation qualification is a bit of a joke, but I much prefer a set going that way than going the other way, where just so you can play State of Origin, you just lapped up into the Australian system, and then you go play for them. Like I have no problem with Jerome Law playing for New South Wales and playing for Samoa. I have a problem with him playing for New South Wales, but not because of his eligibility. But I think it's just a great way to do it. Was the reason rugby league struggles on the international stage is just the lack of competitiveness. And there's no doubt Tonga and Samoa have caught up to New Zealand and England. Everyone's still miles behind Australia at the moment, but New Zealand showed last time that that they are very gettable in a tournament setting if you kind of build to it. And that's where New Zealand have always done well, right? They've done as well as Australian tournaments, had one-off tests, absolutely annihilated, but build the culture, and it's just like, I think maybe a bit like the European Ryder Cup team or something like that. You build bonds in that situation, and I think that means a lot more, 1, to underdogs, but 2, I think to the New Zealand Pacific culture as well. I think, they do so much of that kind of looking back on their heritage stuff that you think people in Australia, the Australian team, are going to camp looking back at previous Australian teams or Australian culture. They're just Aboriginal culture. They're just not. But you do a great job, and it's a shame to Australia that we don't do that. Whereas obviously, there's a lot of looking into the war dances or the prayers that the Fijians do and stuff like that, and getting back to countries that maybe a lot of these guys don't spend a lot of time in anymore. So it just does a great job to bond. So that's wonderful. And you just like to see more tournaments like this where that happens, because then when Australia are vulnerable, the vulnerability will come in a World Cup. Australia have won every World Cup since the 70s bar one. Having them regularly beaten in World Cups would be a really positive thing for rugby league, I think.
Yeah. I think too with the Kiwis, that the times have changed. They're no longer relying on just guys playing for the Warriors. There's
Totally.
the Kiwi presence through the NRL and within the top teams in the NRL now, and in those top systems is, there's only two Warriors in the Kiwis squad.
Really? Wow. I think that's a boon for them.
Chans and Niakore.
Yeah, wow. That's cool. I hadn't pieced that together, but that's fantastic. And good mix of young and old players as well.
Yeah.
You didn't mention the ones that were unable to be selected because of injury.
Oh, it's like it's a top tier 13. Like.
Yeah, I was about to say,
I'm there too.
Yeah.
I haven't had a look over here as who wasn't available. Who are some of the bigger names that weren't available?
Molitalo, Britton Nakora,
Dylan Brown,
Tamare
Brown's a big loss.
Yeah.
Kieran
Foran.
Kieran Foran might be the only player in the NRL who played with Daly Messenger.
Isn't he the one?
Brandon Smith, Kale Ero, Tamale Martin, Joey Manu, Nelson Asafa Solomona.
I would have loved to have seen.
Oh, I think Asafa Solomona is definitely available, isn't he? Isn't he counting all of his suspension?
Yeah.
I think he is, though, isn't he? He's counting his games as a suspension now.
Yes.
So he must have been picked. He's counting his games as a suspension.
Yeah.
Oh, it says he's not unavailable here.
Because he's suspended.
He wasn't picked. Yeah.
No, but
somewhere he's still claiming them there. So.
Yes,
oh, right.
correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, this has gone way over. We've talked about nothing for the last 20 minutes.
We haven't even talked about the New Zealand ladies team yet. What are the silver?
We're going to do a proper preview of all the international stuff next week.
Right.
Love it.
Along with a betting update.
Yeah. Because
have someone to do the grid on time next week.
And the grid.
The correct one.
So, appreciate your time, punters. Thank you very much. Teddy, thank you. Paul, well done.
Pleasure. Great.
Back next week to do it all again.